Welcome, everyone, to another segment of Ageless Beauty, Healthy Body, Vibrant Mind, and Boundless Spirit. Here we are talking about all things healthy aging, and I'm so honored today to introduce our guest, Dempsey Dybdahl. Welcome, Dempsey.
Good morning, Janet. How are you?
I'm great, thank you. It's so nice to have you with us. Let me tell our viewers a little bit about you before we start. So Dempsey Dybdahl incorporates neuroscience into movement and in her brain-based fitness business. It's called Aging Intelligently. Sound good? This is what she has taught in Seattle, Washington for the last 14 years. She explores the interconnectedness of the brain and the nervous system with movement. I'm fascinated already because as a personal trainer, this is just one of my favorite things to talk about. So you're passionate about healthy aging, Dempsey. What is the driving force behind your work?
I think probably curiosity. I'm curious about how people move, why they accept limitations. And I've always been curious about how we can age better. The whole concept of, when I was a kid, my grandmother was 80, 90 years old, and she didn't move very well, and she was overweight, and she had lots of problems, and blah, blah, blah. And then my parents came along, and my parents got to be 80, 90 years old, and they also had problems. And I thought, I don't want to go there. I don't want to be that. And from a very early age, I was conscious of how I could help myself aging. And I like to move. I took piano as a child, and I was terrible because I couldn't sit on a bench for hours. And I thought, well, we're not going to Carnegie Hall with this, but I can go out and do other things. And so my passion has always been move more, move often, move more, do something. Don't just stand there. Think of yourself as active, not sedentary. And once you begin to think of yourself as active, you will start to move in that direction, because we talk to ourselves all the time. And my question is, what are you saying to yourself when you talk to yourself all the time? The people who come in and they say, oh, I'm too tall, too short, too fat, too thin, I'm the wrong color, I'm the wrong ethnicity, I live in the wrong city, blah, blah, blah. We listen to that. Your brain is listening to everything you say. And if all of that is kind of sort of a lie, why is it you're willing to believe that and you're not willing to believe the lie that says, you know what, you could probably do this. It might not feel great for a while, but if you practiced, you could do this. We negate all of that. So we come back to this is how I am by defining ourselves. But if you're curious about everything, if you take all of those filters off and you say, I probably am going to suck doing this for a while, but I'm going to try to do it. And then if I really hate it, I can walk away honestly and say, you know what, I don't want to do that. Or we can continue to do it.
Yeah. Because it is part of aging gracefully. I think as we get older, I think most of the women I know are willing to be more outspoken. And
absolutely.
So if we can incorporate that into how we take care of our bodies and say, I'm going to be vulnerable and look stupid for a little bit.
Yeah.
See if this actually works. I think, Dempsey, we are sisters of a different mother. It's so wonderful to hear you say these things, because I will literally take a client who sits in a machine to, do some shoulder raises or something, and they're right in front of the mirror, and they just sit back and just go, oh, I'm so fat.
Yes.
And so
look at all my wrinkles, and my clothes don't fit right. Oh yeah, this is terrible. I don't want to look. And the clients, I have mirrors in my studio, and they will not look in the mirrors.
No,
they will not.
Close their eyes. They close. I'm like, all right, listen here. This has to stop now. You never say that to a 5-year-old.
Yes.
You would never do that. Well, your little inner 5-year-old just heard you and is feeling hurt right now. What are you going to say to her?
Absolutely.
Restate exactly what they would say to their inner 5-year-old. Honey, you've got a little ways to go, but you're doing all right, and you're here. And
yeah. The important part is you're here and you're doing something. It doesn't have to be great. I get people who say, gosh, I wish I could move like you. My mother would be happy to hear that. She paid a fortune for me to move this well. But the fact is, you don't have to move like me. You can move like you, and you can move better than you move now.
Yeah.
The idea is to be healthy until you die. no nursing homes, no medications if you can help it, no help, no having your granddaughter moving in and hoping you like her. No, none of that. You should be healthy every day, but the deal is you have to pay attention. It is your responsibility. It's not anybody else's responsibility for how you age except yours. So going to the gym and doing mindless things where your brain is not the least bit involved, your brain goes to sleep. So maybe you're getting rid of some lard because you're running on the elliptical trainer for half an hour. Yay, good for that. But your brain is not engaged in what you're doing. And so if you want to keep your brain engaged, and part of the thing with Alzheimer's they're finding is exercise helps it. It doesn't make it go away necessarily, but it slows it down. Maybe it even stops it. We don't know. Are you willing to risk your life to find out? So if you do exercise, if you do anything, if you keep moving, you're much better off in being able to age more gracefully. And that gets into choices. When we get older, we don't get as many choices unless you decide that's the decision that you want to take, that you want those choices and you're willing to do the work for it. You know, it's, as we get older, you have to move faster because you have less time. You don't have all the time in the world. You're not 20 anymore. You can't keep making those mistakes. Those were free rides in your 20s. But when you're in your 40s and 50s and 60s, that's not a free ride. That's a consequence. And what people remember is, when I was 17, I could do this all day. Guess what? You're not 17 anymore. And you can't do that. But what you can do is you can stay vibrant and healthy. So maybe you can't do 7,000 squats like you did when you were 17. You can do 3 really great. You can do anything, but you have to pay attention to how you're going to do it. And the other thing I really believe is you need to surround yourself with people who believe what you believe. Because when you are around people who go, oh, you're so lucky you have good genes. No, I worked my little butt off for this. It's not my genes, although my genes don't look too bad, but it's because I chose this path. And so I choose to stay around people who believe sort of in the ballpark of what I believe. And the people I don't choose to be around are the people who say things like, have you picked out your nursing home for when you can't function anymore? Yeah, no. Yeah, no, because we're not going there. I have visited my mother was in a nursing home, and I visited nursing homes. She died 10, 15 years ago. And over the years, I kind of go and visit, and I do it to sort of go around and look and see to make sure that that is no part of my life that I ever want. I want to be vibrant. I want my brain to be healthy. I want to be lucid. And then I want to go to sleep one night and die. That's it.
Right. I always have this saying of mine is, I want to die young at a very old age.
Yes. Yes. Yeah. And there's a lot to it, but it's a lot of work. And I think that's the thing that people don't understand. And if you think of doing the work as lifestyle, not as, oh my God, I have to go to the gym again today. It's so boring. I really hate it. And, no, that isn't how you think of it. But if you think of, I'm going to stand on one foot to brush my teeth. That's what I'm going to do. And I'm going to brush it with my other hand because I don't use my left hand as much as I do my right hand because I'm right-handed. Your brain perks up. Mm-hmm. And it's about how much your brain perks up. And when your brain perks up and it's awake and it's using, because your brain is a muscle like everything else. If you don't use it, it goes to sleep. And as you begin to age, people have an issue with balance and they say, oh yeah, my balance is really terrible because I'm old. No, your balance is really terrible because you don't practice balance. Right. If you practiced balance, you would be better at it. You would be better at anything if you practiced. So it comes down to the choices that you want to make for that. I think part of it also is we talk to ourselves all the time. Pay attention to what you're saying to yourself, but talk to yourself kinder. Talk to yourself like you would talk to your child, not how you would talk like your very small child, not like you would talk to yourself as who you feel like being. We behave in the way that we feel. Change the feeling. And you change the feeling by talking to yourself in a nicer manner. Yeah. So all of that works towards, and that's all lifestyle. See, that's all lifestyle. And you can look at things that this is really terrible that's happening to me, or this is temporary that's happening to me. It doesn't define me. It's an incident.
Right.
When I go to the gym and I have a terrible day, it's one day. It's one day. It's not my life. When I go and do things and they don't work out, I can decide, do I want to continue doing this, or would I like to move on and do other things? And so that becomes, you're always having to think about who you are and how you define yourself. And I think that defines how we age ourselves. We make that choice. And to let somebody else make that choice on your aging, I think is not a very smart choice on your part.
So taking responsibility not only affords you the ownership of your aging process, but it gives you more options. The older you get, instead of it narrowing down to very few options, it widens it out.
Absolutely.
You said something very important about friends, because you and I are both on board with this idea of healthy aging. And I'm sure we have both gone through this, where as we have gotten into each next decade and have stayed vibrant and healthy, your friends fall away.
Yes.
And you get new ones for sure.
Yeah.
I train a gentleman who is 68 years old, and he's retired. And in retirement, he was diagnosed with Parkinson's.
Okay.
So he hired me he's been with me for over a year now, training 3 days a week, resistance training and stressing. And his neurologists are just scratching their heads because his symptoms aren't advancing the way they normally would.
Yeah.
And
yeah.
He goes to his appointments and he looks around the waiting room and just says, "Oh, Janet, I don't want to be like that." So he's motivated, but he actually said to me the other day, first he said, "Janet, before I knew you, I had a life." What do you say after that? What are you telling me? And then he goes, "I was a different person then.
Yeah.
I'm a new person now." But he's having a problem with friends, like friends, his cronies, the guys that he likes to hang out with, are all like, "Oh, you know, you know, it's just temporary," or "I don't know why you're spending so much money on a trainer, but you look great," you know.
Yeah. By the way, yeah.
And because he's lost 30 pounds, you know,
Nice.
you know, cleaning up his diet and everything. So it's definitely true, I think, for men and for women, that you have to closely watch the people that are around you. Sometimes you can inspire and bring a cohort of friends along with you. But
Sure.
sometimes you have to just gently be loving and polite, but keep them at a little more of a distance, because they are a downer on the direction you're going.
Yeah. Yeah. There's an interesting study about Parkinson's and your brainstem and rhythm and dancing. And I believe it was done by Harvard, but don't quote me on that. But somebody who knew something about all the stuff, some neuroscientist somewhere did this study, and they were talking about Parkinson's, that your brain likes rhythm, and rhythm is one of the things that can help you move better. And if you think about it, people who dance, like ballroom dancing or go out dancing with their partner, those people age better generally, because they're moving in a variety of different ways. It's not just this linear movement thing. It's not just, "Oh, let's go out and run 22 miles. Yeah, let's don't. Let's just watch those people who run 22 miles. Yeah. Running is boring to me, because it's the same thing over and over and over and over and over. And what is interesting to me is being able to move in other directions besides that linear forward movement. It doesn't answer all the questions. Yeah. So running and biking and swimming, all those things are great, but you have to move in other directions as well. And so besides moving forward, that's flexion. So you bend over, that's flexion. How much do you bend back? How much do you lean back and open up your spine so that all the little neurons in there can send sensory stuff up to your brain saying, "Hey, I'm going to let you do more because you're moving more." How much do you bend to the side? Because we don't ever do that. But in life we do, and then we hurt ourselves because we haven't ever practiced it other than when we wanted to do something. How much do you rotate? I hear people say, "I can't turn around." Thank God they have cars now that will let you back up by looking at a computer.
Right.
Really? Why would you buy a car like that? Make yourself turn around and look back there to get into that parking place. You're doing yourself a favor. But see, it's all about what's easy for us now. And what's easy for us now is killing us.
Yes.
Literally.
Yes.
So dancing, you might get the guy dancing, teach him to waltz.
Good.
Because it's a very rhythmic thing, and it apparently it's helpful for Parkinson's. And even if it weren't helpful for Parkinson's, it'd be fun to do. It'd be fun to do.
I'm just thinking his wife would probably really appreciate my suggestion.
Yeah. And you don't hear of people going dancing anymore. That it's one of those things that you do when you're younger, and as you get older, what happens is people voluntarily close themselves in. When's the last time you went dancing? Oh yeah, we don't go dancing anymore. Why not? Oh, I don't know. We just don't think about it. What do? We sit around and we talk with our friends and we have glasses of wine every night. Yeah. Really? And you think that has no impact? Really? Or we go out to the mountains and hike. Okay, hiking in the mountains is better than running on a treadmill. Here's why. Running on a treadmill is repetition over and over and over and over and over. And your brain gets used to it and it says, okay, yeah, I can go to sleep now because you're not doing anything except this repetition thing. But when you're out hiking, you have to move in all sorts of directions because you are hiking, because you're on uneven ground, plus there's something to look at. So there's bushes to get out of the way. There's rocks to climb over. And so hiking versus just walking, we're going to walk around the lake. Oh, okay. Yeah. Can you do some jumping jack while you're doing that? But hiking is a great exercise for people who don't, want to do a whole lot of other things, but they like outdoors, and you're in a great place for this, Arizona. Wonderful hiking, except maybe at 3 p.m. in August.
Right. Not then.
Yeah. So it's about thinking, how can I move all the parts of my body every day and have fun? Because fun is a driver. If we're not having fun, if I'm not having fun, I'm not doing it. That's it. I'm not doing this slogging work because it's good for me. Eating liver might be good for me, although it isn't, but I would never eat it. Eating foods I don't like that might be healthy, and it depends on how healthy they are, how much I'm going to eat them, and how much. But it needs to be fun. You need to dress it up and make it a game, because really life is a game. So
fun. Tell us how and when you took up working with a trapeze.
I had a friend who was 40. I was 65. And she was 40, and she got this crazy idea. There's circus schools here in Seattle. And she said, I want to go up on the big trapeze, the big flying trapeze. Will you go with me? And I said, oh boy, sure. How hard can it be? And we went down to the school, and on the big flying trapeze, you're up. I swear it's 3,000 feet up there in the air, but maybe it's 30 feet. It's up there. And they hook you in. You're perfectly safe. You're perfectly safe. There's a net under you, and we climbed up this thing, and you're standing there and you're looking down, and here's the little trapeze thing. And they say, okay, you're going to jump off here. We're holding you by the belt. You're going to lean forward. You're going to jump off, and you're going to swing out and swing back, and then you're going to drop. And you get out and you think, oh my God, I'm going to let go of this. So I grabbed the trapeze and I'm hanging on. It's like, oh, okay. And I swung out and I thought, oh my God, I weigh so much. Geez, if I weighed 20 pounds less, this wouldn't be so hard on my hands, because all of your weight is hanging from your hands. And I went out and I went back and I went and I dropped down and I thought, wow, that was really hard. Wow, that was really fun. And I went back up there again and we did it again. So we did trapeze, we did flying trapeze for a while. And then we decided we wanted to do the static trapeze, which is, it comes down from the ceiling and it's about somewhere around this level and you're hanging on and you have to get yourself on the trapeze and then you do tricks. I'm pretty flexible, so I thought, well, this isn't going to be too hard. Wrong. Had no upper body strength. So, and you have to haul yourself up on that trapeze. And so it took 8 months. We went to class for 8 months before I could get myself up there. And all the trainers they'd kind of hoist you up there and it would be like, here, I'll help you. No, I don't want the help. I want to do this myself. And finally, 8 months later, I mean, I would come home and just be dead, exhausted from how hard it was to do this. But I thought, this is great. I'm getting this great upper body strength. That's wonderful. My clothes hang better. I'm standing up taller. And this is fun. Besides which, you can brag to all your friends that you go to circus school and they think you're crazy, which is okay. And your children go, really? Mom's doing that? Oh boy. Yeah, sure. Of course she is. So I went for a couple of years. And then finally in my practice, because I teach movement, I teach brain-based fitness, I thought, you know what? My studio needs a trapeze and silks and a rope so I can teach upper body strength to people, especially women. A lot of my clients are men though, and the men all climb the rope. They're all, and I will say, if you can do it, they will kill themselves trying to do it. And so it's like, see, here's how you climb the rope, one step at a time, and I'll show you. And they're like, yeah, no, I want to do that. The women, not so much. And I find that there's a difference between men and women. Men are a little more open about physical things. Women want more logic attached to it. And so almost all the men that I teach can climb the rope, but all of them work on the trapeze, that it's upper body strength, it's pulling yourself up off the ground, it's little jumping things, and it improves everyone's posture. And now I teach it to all my clients, and it's just really fun. My studio is 13 feet tall. It's not very tall. You don't need very much. We're not going to be circus people. We're not going to get up there and do tricks. We just want to improve how we function, and that's one of the ways you can do it. And by the way, it's fun. And how many places can you go that you can do that?
Absolutely. Well, and I think it is true that for women, that idea of the upper body strength being behind the lower body strength, as far as balance is concerned, it's so important for women to work that upper body.
Absolutely.
I train a lady who is 83, and she is a pistol. And she just got back she got certified in scuba diving. And Great Barrier Reef, scuba dive.
Not a bad place to get certified, is it? No.
Right. And she when she was getting ready to go and she got certified, and then she was going to be going in another 6 weeks, she realized that she was barely strong enough just to do it. And so getting her upper body strength to up to par so that she could swim and she'd be able to drag those tanks.
Yeah.
And then when she got back, she had so much fun because she was strong enough.
Yeah.
Exhausted, but
absolutely
she was strong enough. And then she went to China and walked along the Great Wall of China.
Nice.
Which is a lot of stairs and a lot of walking and uneven ground. And then,
well, I think the thing that we teach people, you and I and a lot of people who train people for lifestyle type things, is what you want to do is people come and they say, oh, this is exercise. Not really. Not really. What this is training so that you can go out and never have to think about what you do. If you want to climb over those rocks, great. If you want to go to the barrier reef, wonderful. If you want to go do stuff, if you want to jump out of a plane, I'm going to make you strong enough that you can make that choice if you want to. And that's where I think our work is like really important to people. So it's not about going to the gym. We're not gym rats. It's about having the opportunity to be able to do anything in life. It's about those choices again. And so if you, whatever it is that you choose to do, if you're strong to begin with, if you're mentally sharp, you can go out and you can do that. And you're not going to have as much of a problem as someone who's, a slug watching television all day.
Right. And less likely to be injured, which is
and much less likely to be injured. And by the way, the thing with injury is, I teach everyone that they have to be able to fall down on the ground and get back up. That's it. Fall down. You have to. You're standing. You have to get down on the ground. However you get down on the ground, lay flat as a pancake on your back. Relax for a second. Okay. Then from that position, you have to be able to get back up off the floor. This is for your protection because you never know when this might happen. And in life, you will fall.
Yes.
Don't live your life that, oh my God, I hope I don't fall, because you're now limiting yourself. Expect that somewhere you're going to do something stupid and you're going to fall. The idea is life is dings, learn rehab. So don't just lay there and feel sorry for yourself and, and tell all your friends over your glass of wine. Get up and congratulate yourself that you were able to do that.
Yes.
And that nothing terrible necessarily happened from it. See, it's about those choices and making better choices about how you want to live your life. And that's lifestyle. Yes. That's not, training it, with some trainer somewhere. That's lifestyle.
Right, exactly. Well, and everybody falls. Everybody falls.
And everybody falls.
And what happens when you're strong and supple and flexible is that you fall, either you're able to stop yourself and not fall all the way, or if you fall better.
Yeah.
You don't end up.
And if you have muscle around your hips and your arms and your chest, you fall on like the peanuts in packaging, not on your bones where you break bones.
Right. That's exactly right.
Yeah.
This 83-year-old lady is going to Antarctica in February. So she is like, my goal for her is to be able to, I was joke with her about this. You can appreciate this because she's a little tiny doll, like she's a real tiny woman.
Yeah.
And what I want her to do on the airplane is to go up to some man and say, "Excuse me, sir, let me help you with your luggage." It would be so funny.
Yes. Yes. And it sends a message. It sends a message to people. Don't look at me like I'm 300 years old. Right. Look at me like I'm someone who could kick your butt on some things. So, and that, and that makes everything worth living for, is that we have those choices and we can do that. And so life becomes curious. Life becomes open to us. Life becomes broadening as we age rather than limiting.
Yes. Oh, what a beautiful thought. That is absolutely what we want for ourselves and all of the people we come in contact. What kind of, do you have any projects or things you're working on next, or something that you're working on coming up in 2019 that you're excited about?
Well, I have begun to study, with the brain-based stuff, I have begun to study aromatherapy because smell dictates how your brain works. And when you think about, if you walk past a bakery, what kind of memory that evokes, because memory and smell go together. And so when you smell something, it goes to your olfactory bulb, and then it goes up into your amygdala, and then it goes to your cerebellum where you integrate everything, and then you move better. And so I've begun looking at aromatherapy and how it can help us to function better. And I'm always looking for what's something that I can add to what I'm already doing to help you function. Because when people say, "What do you do?" I'm not sure. I get you to feeling better. That's what I do. I get you to looking at life differently. But as far as, am I a Pilates instructor or a fitness trainer or a ballerina or what, none of that. It's all about you personally and how you can function to the best, and everything that will help you do that. And so I've begun to look at how smells and different smells affect different people, which I find fascinating. Yeah, because some people don't like the smells. I had a client who, when she came to me, mentioned that she had no sense of smell. And I said, "Really?" "Oh," and I thought that was kind of interesting. And I said, "You know what? Let's work on it like you do. Let's have you smell things." And so I would have her smell things. And she would, for a long time, she still didn't smell. And finally, after several months, it would be things like peppermint and eucalyptus, which have a strong smell. And after a few months, she said, "You know what? I'm smelling something. I don't know what it is. I can't recognize it, but there's something there." And now this is about a year later from then. And now she can smell things faintly. And it's like, "And can you tell me the difference between say, lavender and eucalyptus?" And she said, "No, not really, but I can tell you there is a difference." And it's like, and then she moves better. And then she moves better.
And she moves
better.
Wow.
Yeah, and she knows that if she's having a hard day at home or at work or whatever she's doing, she carries little bottles. Like I said, take vanilla. Take something you already have in your house, take vanilla and smell it. And the idea of that memory of it's going to make me better. See, there's you talking to yourself.
Mm-hmm.
And then try to do something. And even if it's a placebo, we don't care. We don't care. If you function better, it's a good thing. And so that's my new thing is how much I can do with the aromatherapy along with everything else to get you to functioning.
That's
so
fabulous.
Yeah.
So I expect a book in the next couple of years by Dempsey Dybdahl on aromatherapy and movement.
Yes.
Well, it's been an absolute pleasure spending this time with you. I could probably talk to you all day.
Thank you so much, Janet. I am so happy to support you in doing this because I think it's really valuable work, and I appreciate that you're doing all of the work to get this out to people. So very good luck with what you're doing.
Oh, thank you so much. I appreciate you. Well, we'll sign off for now and say goodbye, everybody.
All right. Bye.